pro-convict MP Premalal Jayasekara permitted to attend parliamentary sessions. MT New Diamond emits fumes again. Chemicals sprayed from the sky to control the situation. Reduction in rain and strong winds across the island. Typhoon Haishin batters South Korea after slamming Japan.
A very good afternoon. You're watching Lunchtime News on TV1. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Yuki Portia, starting off with your local news. The Court of Appeal granted permission for Premalal Jayasekara, who was sentenced to death, to attend the parliamentary sitting. The Court of Appeal announced it will deliver its verdict on whether or not Premalal Jayasekara, who is elected to Parliament from the Ratnapura district, can attend parliamentary sittings today. On the 31st of July, Premalal Jayasekara was sentenced to death by the Ratnapura High Court as he was found guilty on the indictments of shooting dead one person and injuring two others. Jayasekara, who contested from the Sri Lanka Pudujana Peramuna and was elected, is currently held at the Valikada prison. Now, the Sri Lankan Air Force said it would take another 2 more days to completely douse the onboard fires on the distressed crude oil tanker, the MT New Diamond. Spokesperson for the Sri Lanka Air Force Group Captain Dushan Vijay Singha, speaking to Newsfirst, said an additional 1,000 kilograms of dry chemical powder were dropped on the distressed vessel to smother any reignited flames. Air Force spokesperson said, quote, as the temperatures aboard the vessel had reached a high level, it would be impossible to completely douse the fire inside the vessel, end quote. He added they are yet to drop dry chemical powder and other chemical material into the interior of the distressed supertanker. Sri Lanka Navy spokesperson Captain Indika De Silva said the team of experts, including salvage operations experts, assessors and a legal advisor who arrived in Sri Lanka under the facilitation of the company that works as the commercial and technical operator of MT New Diamond, have reached the site of the distressed supertanker. In addition, another group of experts arrived at the Mattala International Airport last night for salvage operations on the MT New Diamond. New Shipping Limited, the commercial owner of New Diamond in Athens, Greece, appointed SMIT Singapore Private Limited, an international Singapore-based company, as its salvage expert. The company is currently sending equipment and experts in crude oil disaster management to MT New Diamond to commence the salvage operation. Further, another group of experts comprising representatives from the Department of Oceanography and Marine Geology of the University of Ruhuna, National Aquatic Resources Research and Development Agency and Marine Environment Protection Authority are to reach the distressed crude oil tanker for inspections and assessments. Sri Lanka Air Force spokesperson Group Captain Dushan Vijay Singha, speaking to Newsfirst, said aircraft from its fleet would be dispatched today to observe the MT New Diamond. The Department of Fisheries had urged the fishing community to refrain from entering the area where the MT New Diamond is currently positioned. The MT New Diamond crude oil tanker was transporting 270,000 metric tons of crude oil from the port of Mina Al Ahmadi in Kuwait to the port of Paradip in India when a fire broke out aboard in the eastern seas of Sri Lanka on the 3rd of September 2020 at around 800 hours. The Department of Meteorology states that showers and winds are expected to decrease in the island today. However, showers will occur at times in the western, Sabargamur, central, northwestern, Galle and Mathura districts.
Director General of the Meteorology Department, Atula Karunanayaka, said that wind speeds can be increased up to 50 km per hour around the island. Heavy downpour has affected several parts of the island. A youth was killed after a tree collapsed onto her house in Kottawala, Kadwala. The incident occurred at 10:30 p.m. last night. Our correspondent stated that the mother and 2 other siblings of the deceased has been admitted to the hospital. The mother, who sustained severe injuries, is receiving treatment at the Colombo National Hospital. Traffic on the Selangapatha road was disrupted due to a strong wind that blew across the Vatal area yesterday afternoon. Meanwhile, several places in Negombo also experienced heavy rains. Due to this, the Negombo-Puakpata road was flooded. Our correspondent said that nearly 10 houses in the area have also been inundated. The Kegol district was also affected by the inclement weather. A mound of earth had collapsed onto a house in the Algama Kandegama area in the Varkapallu Divisional Secretariat. Our correspondent said that the house was partially damaged due to the incident which took place yesterday afternoon.
Meanwhile, Typhoon Haishin drew closer to Japan's southern mainland yesterday, cutting power and prompting authorities to recommend evacuation and warn of potentially record rainfall, unprecedented wind, high tides and large ocean swells.
According to the Fire and Disaster Management Agency, authorities urged early evacuation for more than 100,000 households in the southern island prefecture of Okinawa and in Kagoshima, Kumamoto and Nagasaki on Kyushu, Japan's main southern island. Prime Minister Shinzo Abe said at a meeting with cabinet ministers, and I quote, "It is headed towards and may potentially make landfall in Kyushu through tomorrow, bringing record rains, strong winds, high waves and high tides. It is needed to exercise the utmost caution," end quote. One evacuation center in Miyazaki reached capacity and stopped accepting evacuees as a precaution against the coronavirus, according to a public broadcaster. They also said airlines have cancelled more than 500 flights departing from Okinawa and southern Japan. Bullet train service in southern and western Japan was also suspended. The meteorological agency said the typhoon is forecast to have atmospheric pressure of 945 hectopascals at its center and sustained winds of up to 216 kilometers per hour by today.
Taking a look back at your local news, the one-year commemoration of the death of Chandrasiri Gajadhira, a prominent figure in leftist politics, was held in Mahindra yesterday. The event was held under the auspices of Prime Minister Mahindra Rajapaksa. Prime Minister Mahindra Rajapaksa paid floral tribute to the late Chandrasiri Gajadhira. The commemoration was also attended by Speaker of Parliament Mahindra Vardhan, relatives of late Chandrasiri Gajadhira and many other politicians.
Today there is a huge demand for intellectuals in politics, but Chandrasiri Gajadhira spoke about this 4 to 5 decades ago. He was an intellectual who engaged in politics. This is important. I would also like to remind the younger generation that being a gentleman in politics is also very important. I must remind you all that Chandrasiri Gajadhira was a person who fought for democracy and represented Mathura at a time where there was much violence and death.
Meanwhile, a ceremony to welcome Speaker Mahindra Vardhan was held at the Valigama Municipal Council Hall yesterday. A power outage was reported when the speaker attended the event.
Anyone has the right to practice their policies. That is what we did. We didn't change our policies. We did not betray them. We will not use your votes to engage in corruption. We will not steal. It is because of that track record that I was appointed as the speaker. Nobody can point their fingers at me.
කතානායක දුරයට යන්න පුළුවන් වුණේ. කිසි කෙනෙකුට අත දික් කරන්න, ඇඟ දික් කරන්න කොහෙවත් ඉඩක් නැහැ.
Moving on, Dr. Palitha Kohana has been named Ambassador designate of Sri Lanka to China.
Dr. Palitha Kohana served as Sri Lanka's permanent representative to the United Nations after serving as the Foreign Secretary. He was also the Secretary General of the Secretariat for coordinating the peace process. Prior to joining the UN, Dr. Kohana was with the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade of Australia.
The total number of confirmed COVID-19 cases in the country has risen to 3,123. There are 186 active COVID-19 patients receiving treatment. According to the Ministry of Health, a total of 2,925 people have recovered after contracting the virus. 2 new cases of COVID-19 were confirmed yesterday. The Government Information Department said 2 returnees from the United Arab Emirates and India who were undergoing quarantine tested positive for the virus yesterday. Now today is day 10 of the the Dota Doe initiative. This is the 5th phase of this program.
The the program is conducted this time together with the University of Peradeniya. The teams toured the Mana, Anuradhapura and Galle districts today. The team that toured the Anuradhapura district visited areas falling under the purview of the Yakkala, Mahasenpura, Maradankadavala and Udayankulama divisional secretariats. The main issue faced by the people in these areas is the lack of clean water. They are also victims of the human-elephant conflict. Encroaching elephants constantly destroy their cultivations.
The government team that is currently touring the Anuradhapura district is in the village of Mahasenpura. Now, since we arrived here this morning, we have been able to speak to these villagers in this area. The constant complaint that they poured out was the access of clean drinking water. Now, as you can see, this well from which we are filing this report is their only source of water for this village that houses about 60 families. And as a result of consuming this water that is unfit for consumption, these villagers complain that they have been suffering from kidney-related ailments for a very long time. Apart from this problem, that is the lack of clean drinking water, the villagers say that their woes have increased further as a result of wild elephants that encroach the village from this area. Now, these villagers whom we spoke to pointed out that one person who was fetching water from this particular well had been killed exactly at this location 3 years ago, which is a very pathetic situation. The government, the team will of course continue our journey throughout the Anuradhapura district, where we will speak to the villagers in order to find a solution to their long-standing issues that have missed the eye of political authorities.
The lack of clean water was also identified as the main issue among the people in the district of Mana. The Gamada teams toured the Suarampur, Silavatura, Muttaripu and Poppode villages in the Mana district. Another Gamada team also toured areas falling under the purview of the Nanata divisional secretariat. The farmers of Umunari Madukare dry their harvest along the Mana Colombo road as they do not have a threshing floor in their villages. The Gamada team in the Gaul district inquired into the issues faced by the residents of Yakkatua in Alpitia. The wells in these areas are full of contaminated water.
This Yakkatua village in the Gaul district is a unique area for the simple reason that throughout our Gammed Dota Doe campaign, you may have heard of people asking for water to drink, asking for water for consumption. This Yakkatua village is a village that has water, and water itself has become its problem. Now, the main road leading up to the Yakkatua village is a road connecting to the Southern Expressway and Karapitia main road. And according to the villagers that you see behind me, this complete area gets inundated when there is a heavy shower, and the reason for that is this particular canal that has not been properly maintained. Now, if you see this canal leading up to the land here, and it stops from there, and we do not know where the water goes. So what the villagers want is that this canal to be cleared up and the canal to be dug properly so that the water that gets collected in the main junction can flow through this way and thereby stopping this area from being inundated.
Taking a look at some news overseas, tens of thousands of people marched through Minsk yesterday, calling on Belarusian President Alexander Lukashenko to step down in mass demonstrations that showed no sign of abating nearly a month after an election his opponents say was. And with that, it's a wrap of lunchtime news here on TV1. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Miyuki Toshia. Take care and good day.